By virtue of the powers vested in me as acting Vice Chancellor, I constitute this gathering a congregation of the University of South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, we request you to join us in a silent prayer or meditation to give thanks for the achievements being celebrated on this occasion. Kindly bow your heads. Thank you. You may be seated. Let me first recognize His Excellency, Dr. Thabo Mbeki, Chancellor of UNISA and former President of the University of the Republic of South Africa, Principal and Vice Chancellor, Professor Linkabula, the Chairperson of Council, Dr. Musia, and members of Council in absentia. Members of extended management and executive management and extended management of the university in attendance, executive and deputy executive deans from various colleges present, esteemed dignitaries, friends of UNISA in attendance this morning, college academics, professionals, unisans, parents, grandparents, families, guardians, siblings, spouses, and if I may be allowed, boyfriends and girlfriends if they are here this morning, and also the little ones who are not even ready for high school. I think they are in primary. I would like to recognize their presence this morning. And of course, our graduates and diplomats from class of 2024 to 2025, soon to be the alumni of this University of the Land. Molweni, Andivi, Molweni, Khotsong, Sanbonani, Absheni, Dimashironi, Tobela, Goeiemorgen. Good morning. Also, it gives me a great pleasure to extend warm greetings and heartfelt welcome to each one of you on this momentous occasion of the graduation ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matshidiso Molapo, Acting Vice Principal, Strategy, Risk and Advisory Services. I'm officiating this morning's ceremony on behalf of our Principal and Vice Chancellor, Professor Linkabula, who could not be here this morning. With me on the stage, we have colleagues who will be presiding jointly with me in this ceremony. From the Registrar's portfolio, we have the Deputy Registrar, Student Administration and Student Information, Ms. Liana Jobet, and also I'm with Mr. M. Nkwang, Regional Director of the Western Cape region. From the College of Accounting, I have Professor B. Akers, who will deliver the Chancellor's address. Also with me are college representatives. From the College of Human Sciences, I have Professor Mashao, who is the Deputy Executive Dean, Professor J.E. Maritz, Dr. N. Maleb, Professor S. Safla. From the College of Law, I have Professor M. Budeli Namakonde, who is the Executive Dean, Professor S.A. Mabudusha. In the College of Economic and Management Sciences, I have Professor M.C. Mlauzi, Professor O.M. Lidimu. From College of Science, Engineering and Technology, I have Professor N. Nketo, who is the college representative. I have also Professor H. Lotrid, college representative, Dr. B. Nzime, Professor H.S. Clayton, and Professor Mapoli, who is the acting executive dean. From the College of Agriculture and Environmental Science, from the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, we have Professor N.O. Mapoli, who is the acting executive dean, Professor M. Mabelebele, who is a college representative, and Dr. S. Nenmini. College of Education, we have Professor M.E. Makwe, who is the executive dean, Professor A.S. Mawela, Professor P.K. Mudau. And then from the College of Accounting Sciences, we have Professor T.C. Mudisani, who is the Deputy Executive Dean, Professor A.A. Van Rooyen, Professor B. Akers. From the School of Business Leadership, I have Professor P. Msweli, Professor N.B. W. Mlitwa, Professor R. Stein. And I would also like to recognize the supervisors who are here for their doctoral students or doctoral graduates, Professor H.F. Snyman, Professor A. van Niekerk in the place of Professor J.E. Maritz, Professor O.M. Lidimo, Professor A.T. Mutezo, Professor B. Akers, Professor A. Nicolaides in absentia. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also take the opportunity to recognize colleagues who provided logistical and administrative support for making this occasion possible in the Graduation Division, Department of Institutional Advancement, Multimedia Services, Operations Facilities, including Security and Protection Services, and of course the Department of Human Resources, the Employee and Wellness Unit. I would also like to recognize our guests, our stakeholders, our Cape Town stakeholders present here. We have Bishop Dr. Kaya Mayedwa, who is a Senior Manager, Government and Stakeholder Relations at South African Rugby Union. National Student Representative Council Leadership for the Western Cape region, and also the alumni members of the university. It is a great honor to be standing here before you today on this momentous occasion to acknowledge and to celebrate not only a milestone of academic achievement, but a rite of passage into leadership, service, and transformation. Walking across the stage is symbolic of your academic journey, moving from one chapter of your life to the other. You have persevered through long nights, complex modules, tight deadlines, while you raise families, while you work or hustle, doing this and that, trying to make a living during these uncertain times of high unemployment. Today, your name is not only in the graduation program, but in the unfolding story of South Africa's future and the South Africa that we want. As we stand here in celebration, we also recognize the commitment and perseverance it took for you to reach this point in your life. Today, we stand at the peak of a new chapter, ready to make your mark and on our motherland, the continent, and the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm round of applause to our graduates and diplomats who are seated in this room. You all look so beautiful, maybe even unrecognizable to your families who are here this morning. It is not only your achievement that you are graduating today, but also a culmination of the support and sacrifice made by your families, friends, and academic mentors. We honor and thank them for their unwavering support. Together with the collaboration of families and dedicated professionals, we have come this far to ensure that every student receives the support they need to thrive academically and personally. It is by no mistake that you have reached this point of your academic journey. The University of South Africa has been intentional in implementing several initiatives aimed at fostering student success. For instance, based on the review of our UNISA 2030 strategy, we have dedicated and prioritized student support as a strategic pillar, specifically to address all learning challenges that our students might be experiencing. Through our various programs in the Student Retention Unit, the first-year entering program that assists students to adapt in distance education is just one amongst many. Also, we have support programs, the Directorate of Curriculum Development and Transformation, academic and technological support, counseling and career guidance, the business intelligence platform, and also the surveys that they run in that unit to assist, to profile and track our students are just also a few of many other programs that foster student support throughout the student walk from applications to graduations. Our university stands on three interconnected pillars: teaching and learning, which empowers students with knowledge and critical thinking; research, which generates solutions to the world's most pressing challenges; and engaged scholarship, which connects knowledge directly to communities, ensuring that there are real lasting solutions to protect or to build or to have an impact in our communities. Our state-of-the-art Engaged Scholarship platform is a powerful platform that tracks and showcases impact-driven, community-based initiatives. This system demonstrates how our academic work extends far beyond the classroom, touching lives and strengthening communities across South Africa and the continent. Here in the Western Cape region, with more than 66,000 students registered, UNISA's footprint, not just academic, it's transformative. Communities from Michelle's Plain to Belleville look up to us, not only for learning, but for leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let me take this opportunity to welcome you all to this important ceremony. Let us sit back, relax, and enjoy and celebrate our graduates and diplomats. It is a great achievement that we have reached this far. I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to invite Professor B. Akers to the podium to deliver the Chancellor's address. Over to you, Prof. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me clearly. I'm indeed privileged to deliver the Chancellor's address at this graduation ceremony on behalf of UNISA, on behalf of the Chancellor, Dr. Mbeki. I'd like to acknowledge the Acting Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Mulapo, and without downplaying their respective roles and contributions, all the other members of the UNISA convocation seated on the stage with us tonight. This morning. It's been one of those days, I apologize. But most importantly, you. You, the students seated in front of us, who are about to receive your degrees, your diplomas, or your certificates this morning, as well as your parents, your family, your friends, your lecturers who have supported you during this process to obtain your academic qualifications. You must be commended on your commitment, tenacity, resilience, and hard work that it has taken for you to get to this point. I know the road has not always been easy, but you have persevered. Well done. My heartfelt congratulations go to you as you're about to graduate. It represents a major milestone in your careers and indeed your lives. Your collective sacrifices are given the opportunity to walk this red carpet on this stage this morning. But if you could please indulge me for a moment. My name is Barry Akers. I'm a professor of auditing in the College of Accounting Sciences. Now, you may look at me, dressed in a red gown, and think, oh well, here's somebody who was probably at the top of his class, probably voted most likely to succeed, and probably spent his entire life in academia. Well, quite frankly, nothing could be further from the truth. I grew up in Lansdowne. Many of you would know where that is, here in the Cape Flats. I matriculated from Livingston. If there are any Livingston grad, I see you there. Welcome. From Livingston High School, a long time ago, with acceptable but not outstanding marks. In fact, I specifically remember my matric teacher at that time telling me I wasn't going to get through matric, and I wasn't going to amount to anything. Clearly, she was horribly wrong. But then again, thinking back to when I finished matric in 1978, who were the role models that looked like me? They didn't exist. If you think about the career opportunities that existed back in Cape Town during apartheid South Africa, it was a very different world to the world we're living in today. So at that time, what were the career opportunities? Well, I could become a teacher. In a sense, I did. A lawyer, a couple of lawyers on stage, an artisan working in the Simonstown dockyard, or believe it or not, a policeman in apartheid South Africa. So I chose something different. I started my career working in a bank. Now, in those days, people like me weren't even allowed to be on the front counter. We couldn't serve people. We weren't allowed to be tellers. It was a different era. I soon realized that this was not for me. I then subsequently enrolled for and completed my very first degree with UNISA, based here in Cape Town. And that is something I'm very proud of. In those days, we had to travel through to Cape Town, and I think it was in Rubik Street where we had to drop our assignments in an assignment box. Those assignments were then transported to Pretoria. It was marked and then sent back. We wrote exams at the Goodwood Showgrounds, which is where the casino is now. Again, different world. So I then went into commerce and industry, where I spent most of my career. But at the age of 47, pretty late in life, I then decided this was, again, not for me. The lack of integrity, the unethical business practices, and the lies that companies told that I was part of, it just didn't sit very well with me. So I decided, enough of this, I'm going to do something else. So I then joined UNISA, registered for my PhD, and then while at UNISA, that was 17 years ago, I decided to become an academic. This was probably the best decision of my career, or one of the best decisions of my life. So although people may perceive accountants as being dull people in gray suits, I'm wearing a blue suit today, focused on numbers, most people who know me know that I'm deeply committed to good corporate governance, to sustainable development, and to environmental issues. So I'm extremely fortunate that UNISA allowed me not only to pursue my own passions, but more importantly, to develop a successful academic career around those passions. By incorporating my own interests and challenging the status quo, I developed an academic career, effectively focusing on how organizations account for their non-financial impacts, which is equally important, and I would argue even more important. So as I approach my formal retirement in about 2 months' time, I thought it was indeed fitting for me to deliver this Chancellor's address. So please indulge me. So at the end of the day, this is where my academic career started all those years ago. So you may be wondering, so what has all of this got to do with me? After all, I'm on top of the world. I'm about to graduate. Well, one thing is certain. Nothing ever remains the same. If you just think about the story that I've told you about my own story, how that's changed. The choices that you made or the circumstances that brought you here today are likely to change. Like me, you may decide after 20 or 30 years that the career that you've pursued is no longer for you and decide to change and do something else. You may even pivot into a different career. So for a long time, the conventional view of business was that the sole purpose was to maximize profits for the shareholders as a return on the investment. Companies primarily accounted to stakeholders. In his controversial article in the 1970s, Milton Friedman, a Nobel Prize-winning economist, said that the one and only social responsibility of business was to use its resources to engage in activities designed to increase its profits. Since company owners appointed managers as the agents, their primary responsibility was arguably to the shareholders. Therefore, diverting shareholder resources towards socially or environmentally responsible causes could be seen as being a breach of those fiduciary responsibilities. Then when Friedman introduced the stakeholder concept in 1984, or the United Nations Brundtland Report was released in 1987, that gave us some hope that the unbridled exploitative capitalism would not be allowed to put profits above everything else. So while the contemporary discourse on corporate social responsibility or sustainability may appear to be a relatively new phenomenon, the discourse on corporate social responsibility actually dates back to the 1930s, where Bell argued that managers should limit their corporate power to their fiduciary responsibilities for the exclusive benefit of shareholders, whereas Dodd, on the other hand, argued that the business existed not only to provide the shareholders with profits, but also to serve the community. It may even be argued that sustainability is deeply embedded in the African philosophy of Ubuntu, which focuses on achieving communal goals. However, as stakeholders increasingly demand companies behave in a sustainable, socially and environmentally responsible manner, the reality is that unscrupulous companies could deliberately or negligently mislead stakeholders by instrumentally using greenwash to positively influence their performance and greenwash what they were doing. So greenwash represents organizations disclosing information to intentionally present a distorted or overly positive image of the company's environmental and social performance, while simultaneously concealing the bad things that they may be doing. So without ignoring fundamental numbers that underpin accounting, the paradigm of the global accounting profession is shifting from accounting for the numbers to being accountable for the things that matter. Now, although evolution is usually considered to take place over centuries or even millennia, the pace at which the world is changing is increasing. So despite Brundtland defining sustainability as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, we unfortunately again appear to be witnessing a return of exploitative capitalism. While profit maximization, usually for the world's ultra-rich, is the only goal. We are witnessing massive global upheaval and instability, with the ultra-rich continuing to accumulate wealth at the expense of the majority, while completely disregarding the adverse social and environmental implications of what they're doing. It's frightening to think that in this current obsession to accumulate obscene levels of wealth at all costs is happening in a world where the World Health Organization has reported that around 733 million people in the world face hunger in 2023. That is 1 in 11 people in the world who are hungry. And if you think about it, in Africa, that's 1 in 5 people. Yet, some of the world's ultra-billionaires, like Musk, Ellison, Bezos, Zuckerberg, to name a few, continue to accumulate wealth. Now, if they donated a small fraction of what they've got, and the world estimates, it's estimated that the world requires around 40 billion a year, and that's $1 billion, to eliminate poverty and hunger by 2030. They would still be ultra-billionaires. It would be less than 1% of their wealth. You're looking at people like Ellison or Musk. I mean, they're worth around $400 billion each. Anyway, so they will still be extraordinarily wealthy. Species of fauna and flora are becoming extinct at an increasingly rapid rate. So it's despite increasingly volatile and unpredictable variations in global weather patterns, the climate change deniers who were silent for a very long time are starting to emerge again because the environment is around profits first. Environments don't matter. And they're arguing that climate change is fake news. I'm sure you've all seen YouTube clips of certain people saying climate change does not exist. The world population is now 8.2 billion people. Can the planet sustain its population? Or will we actually, as a human species, drive ourselves to extinction? But then again, maybe the ultra-rich will be living on Mars, so it won't matter to them. So as you walk this red carpet on this stage this morning to receive your academic qualifications, I'd like you to think about where the world will be in 5, 10, 20, 50, or even 100 years' time. What type of world will your children, grandchildren inherit? Will mankind be responsible for its own extinction? So although you might be receiving your qualifications in accounting, economics, psychology, education, law, anything else, does not mean that your interactions in the real world will be confined to the disciplines that you have studied in. On the contrary, your effectiveness in the workplace will depend on the extent to which you understand the disciplines and interact with colleagues across different functional areas. So my challenge to you today is to expand your horizons, think differently about how you can leverage your qualifications to make a difference in the respective roles that you may play in your workplace, in society, in your communities. No matter how well you think you may have planned your career, in reality, life happens. Your priorities, values, and principles that you hold today may change. Hopefully for the better. You must remain agile and capable of responding to your changing environment and circumstances. You must constantly update your knowledge and skills to remain relevant and to add value to your organization, to your community, and society. Therefore, while congratulations on your achievement are absolutely in order, you should remember that there's still a long road ahead as you develop in your professional careers. Ultimately, it's up to all of us to contribute to preserving the planet for future generations and address the deterioration of our moral and ethical fiber by collectively using our knowledge and skills in whichever discipline to influence decisions, not simply based on self-enrichment, but rather on societal norms and expectations. As a proud UNISA alumnus, I welcome you to the fraternity. I thank you for indulging me.
Thank you so much, Professor Akers, for that insightful presentation. Thanks for recognizing the family support, the tenacity and resilience of our graduates who are sitting here for reaching the milestone of their graduation. And also thank you very much for sharing your life with us, to reflect on how life was and how life looks like. And that would give a perspective to our graduates where we come from as South African, coming from the restrictive laws that we have lived under, the apartheid regime, the unethical principles that came with that regime. And thank you very much for taking the decision to join academia, especially for joining UNISA. You have enriched our academic environment, and also the students who are seated here, they have benefited from your knowledge, and we thank you very much for that decision, and also highlighting to them that nothing stays the same. Life will inform you when you need to make certain shifts in your life, and you must take that with both hands so that you can be able to help the country. And thanks for your knowledge in good corporate governance and corporate social responsibility. I'm sure it has made an impact in our society and in the knowledge arena. And he has left you with a message to think of where you will be in the next 5 years and to think carefully on your way forward. Thank you very much, Prof, for that rendition. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started with the conferment of the degrees and diplomas, I would like to request you not to leave the hall until the end of the ceremony. We would like all of you to enjoy the audience that we have from the first student up to the last student. And also let me request you to keep your cell phones on a silent mode so that the ceremony is not disrupted in any way. We can get started. By virtue of the powers entrusted to me, I shall now proceed to confer the degrees and diplomas of the university on the candidates whose names appear in the program and request representatives of the colleges to present the candidates to me. Over to you, colleagues.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce to you Wena Bezuidenhout for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. The candidate supervisor was Prof. H.F. Snyman, and it is now my privilege to read the citation in support of the conferment of the degree. In his thesis entitled An Analysis of Commuter Crime Exposure on the Northern Line of the Cape Town Rail Network, he highlights the importance of protecting commuters against crime on urban rail as part of the city's critical public infrastructure. He examines the nexus between the reliable comfort, extent of service, safety, and affordability of urban commuter rail and the exposure of commuters to crime. He recommends seamless coordination between the SAPS and PRASA in implementing an integrated safety and security plan, thereby enhancing the safety of commuters and protecting urban commuter rail assets against crime. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confirm on Wena Bezuidenhout the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on Wena Bezuidenhout. Congratulations, Dr. Bezuidenhout.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce to you Leslie Allison Patterson for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. I request her supervisor, Prof. J.E. Maritz, to read the citation in support of the conferment of the degree.
It is my pleasure to read the conferment of Leslie Allison Patterson in her thesis entitled Strategies for Nurses Providing Holistic End-of-Life Care Within a Tertiary Hospital. She addresses the significance of nursing in end-of-life situations and strives to enhance the discourse on supporting patients and families during this critical phase of their life. She used a qualitative hermeneutic phenomenological design with a SWOT analysis to develop the strategies. The outcome aimed to foster holistic patient-centered care that respects patients' dignity, choices, cultural values, and ethical standards while ensuring that the healthcare professionals undergo proper development and receive support in end-of-life care.
Madam Acting Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer on Leslie Alison Patterson the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on Leslie Alison Patterson.
Madam Acting Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce to you Haji Bawa for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. In the absence of her supervisor, Professor M.N. Davids, I will read her citation. In her thesis entitled Citizenship Education in Western Cape Schools, Experiences of Life Orientation Teachers, she addresses the arguable lack of social cohesion and nationhood despite 30 years of democratic governance and liberation in post-apartheid South Africa. A multiple case study design is employed to collect data using interviews and observations. An interpretive lens, pedagogical content knowledge, and critical pedagogy theory are used for analysis. Noteworthy findings include generational disparities in teacher identities, misalignment between curricular expectations and classroom practices, and teachers as social change agents. The study offers recommendations for curriculum practices and policy reform and future research. Madam Acting Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer on Haji Bawa the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on Haji Bawa.
Madam Acting Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce to you Alex Boateng for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. I am Professor O.M. Lidimu. As his supervisor, I'll be reading the citation in support of conferment of the degree. In his thesis entitled Organizational Justice, Job Security and Job Performance in the Era of COVID-19 in a Ghanaian financial institution, he employs a model to examine the triadic and dynamic relationship between organizational justice, job insecurity, and job performance in a period marked by a rapid instability and unplanned changes. Using a quantitative study with employees in a Ghanaian financial institution, the triadic empirical relationship between the constructs along with moderators and mediators are established. The empirical model developed in the study provides practical insights for practitioners to design performance interventions that foster a culture of fairness to reduce job insecurity concerns while improving employee job performance in financial institutions. This research contributes valuable knowledge to both theory and practice, enhancing the understanding of the complex mechanisms and various situational and individual factors that account for employees' job performance in the work environment of an insecurity-prone developing African country. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to request to you to confer on Alex Boateng the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on Alex Boateng.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce to you Ruben Chivongoze for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. I request his supervisor, Prof. A.T. Mutezo, to read the citation in support of the conferment of the degree.
In his thesis, The Nexus Between Enterprise Risk Management and Risk-Adjusted Bank Performance, Evidence from South Africa, he investigates the nexus and impact of enterprise risk management on risk-adjusted bank performance using bank data from 2003 to 2023 from 10 banks in South Africa. His findings indicate that both his risk-focused performance measures, risk-adjusted return on capital, and the MZ score are positively associated with improved risk-adjusted bank performance. He makes valuable contribution to the body of knowledge by providing a structured approach to measuring enterprise risk management, while utilizing both qualitative and quantitative data instead of the binary enterprise risk management indicators. The empirical outcomes provide new insights and help prudential regulatory authorities and banking executives, including chief risk officers, to strengthen national and global financial systems and to enhance stability and certainty in the financial markets.
No, wait, Doc, wait. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer on Ruben Chibongoze the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on Ruben Chibongozi.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce to you Darko Dachevsky for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. I request his supervisor, Professor B. Akers, to read the citation in support of the conferment of the degree.
In his thesis entitled Developing an Audit Quality Oversight Framework for European Audit Regulators, he adopts a mixed methods approach to explore the links between enhanced audit quality, improved financial reporting reliability, strengthened investor confidence, and greater market integrity. He comprehensively surveys and/or interviewed audit firms, professional audit organizations, European audit regulators, major high-quality, major financial regulators and public interest entities across Europe. The conceptual framework demonstrates how high-quality audits enhance financial reporting reliability, fostering investor confidence and strengthening market integrity. The audit quality oversight framework is built on 3 pillars: securing audit quality, overseeing audit engagements, and enhancing auditor independence and ethics.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree on Darko Dachevsky, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on Darko Dachevsky.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce to you Louis Serfontaine for the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership. The candidate supervisor was Prof. Nicolaides, and it is now my privilege to read the citation in support of the conferment of the degree. In his thesis titled Creating Consciousness and Cultural Transformation Through Leadership Intervention to Support Sustainability, the Case of Singapore and Rwanda, Mr. Serfontaine sought to identify ways in which society and its leadership can combat the critical issue of littering through to transform societal culture and establish the foundations for a sustainable future. The study was inspired by the effective anti-littering leadership interventions of Singapore's Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew and Rwanda's President Paul Kagame. Mr. Serfontaine argued that South Africa requires a shift in consciousness that leads to a reduction in littering. He developed a theoretical intervention model designed to be applied at any level of government and in any country. Using this model, he successfully initiated an intervention and a program in collaboration with the Swellendam municipality in South Africa. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer on Louis Serfontaine the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership on Louis Serfontaine. Thank you.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receives the degree of Master of Commerce. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Anin Dichacher obtained the degree with distinction. Sibusiso Gwebichala. Patience Chuma. Virginia Vaisi. Virginia?
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Brindley Wayne Davids receives the degree of Master of Arts. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Msawenkosi Trevas Kosana receives the degree of Master of Information Science.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Master of Laws. Chanel Josephine Nell. Amber Randall. Angelique Felsman. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Heidi Magda Esther Hazen receives the degree of Master of Arts in the College of Law.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Technology Honors. Altric Lorenzo Engelberg receives the degree with distinction. Mizamo Kakuti. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Jan Pure Emil Manuel receives the degree with distinction. Ethan Hilton Peters. Jans Jacobs de Villiers. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours. Peter Voljon.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honours in the College of Law. Elrino Kane. Azil Erika Kotse.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours. Abulele Opala Dolo received the degree with distinction. Rabokale Marina Mpatlele. Diatile Ndlovu. Antonia Steenkamp. Zibuya Chibase.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honours in the College of Human Sciences. Pamela Francis Arense. Yusra Ahmadin, and the degree is obtained with distinction. Kautha Kori. Welba Adrian Castro. Lauren Jamie Klassen. Langa Matuko Kungo, degree obtained with distinction. Henriette Lea Pretorius, degree obtained with distinction. Tavisa Sikobi. Natalie Deirdre Watlington.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Commerce Honours. Matilda Adams. Monetsi Aubrey Chakanyuka. Sipokazi Dunge. Pedro Henrique da Silva Fernandez. Anthea Janine Mejd. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Siyasisanda Mdai obtains the degree with distinction. Nompumelelo Khadebe. Josu Prince Slaza Ngamou. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Sandisiwe Sulani obtains the degree with distinction. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Administration Honours. William Puleng Hololo.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Danielle Melissa Carlos received the degree of Bachelor of Education Honors. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Education. Seti Nuran Adams. Cleo Abigail Carmen Arenze receives the degree with distinction. Janine Angelique Box. Marshalline Rochelle Boyson. Madeline Botma. Kelly Agishni DeFries. Algretha Jean Engelbrecht. Dunay Veronique Fortune. Leandri Adela Francis Fauché. Tesloli Chester Gatze. Lynette Jacobs, degree obtained with distinction. Johanna January. Krishna Kap. Elric Kleinhans obtains the degree with distinction. Raesa Colby. Clayton Carl Castur. Kaylin Michelle Lowe. Vivian Nolwazi Machaya. Kaylin Joanne May. Robin Lynn Mayer. Maria Pavalla Mononga. Moria Juandre Moses. Alfarita Anene October. Elgrin Peterson. Fridolin Lutika Suen Peterson. Linzan Christopher Peterson. Sindiswa Polose. Sizeka Huai. Tasmin Banu Sawat. Megan Donamic Squalls. Alison Skriede. Nolufefe Tapo. Shadroli Tembo. Tulisiwe Tutulwana. Shanae Willemse. Chantel Letitia Gelderblom. Lydia Magrita Yankees. Lunel Juber. Nomakosazana Natasha Maziko. Genevieve Suzanne Smith. Dura Samuel Fori Davids. Rian Michael Wuster. Kate Colleen van Skalkwyk.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Pozisa Sam received the degree of Bachelor of Administration. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Tombikayise Flepis. Janine Suel Hen. Andrea Shelley Hughes. Alec Graham Lawrence. N. Farirai Mutswiri. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Tapiwa Nyakauja receives the degree with distinction. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Commerce. Dewald Kenneth Olof Berg. Lush Andre Leroux. Natalie Kim Purcell. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Megan Burns received the degree with distinction. Kayla Christie. Henriette Maralise Cornelsen. Vigil Mario Crow. Bruce Matthew Eves. Mahomet Schwab Ibrahim. Elaine Cecilia Ferris. Duandre Fortune. Sien Nicole Francis. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Marley Andre Franken receives the degree with distinction. Alain Michelle Gedald. Sasha Margarita Horn. Masivelane Jita. Noluntu Komani Ndongeni. Mpho Kutami. Tumelo Lidingwane. Lutleli Mabeke. Sibabatso Emily Manesa. Renee Agnes Marlier. Kanan Gregory McKay. Mia McLeod. Sinamile Mbalenhle Mhlongo. Bridget Muzimba. Vuyelwa Nazi Konjani. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Caitlin Alicia Peitha receives the degree with distinction. Sikangezile Sibanda. Ulitemba Teboho Soti. Mapuleng Ntokozo Somniso. Temlane Trichart. Elzan van Veek. Hercules Haman van Muldorf. Lesrick Darren Weber. Kim Therese Williams. Glenville Rumak Vetboy. Nicole Lauren Woodington. Lauren Weinhardt.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive Bachelor of Accounting Sciences. Danielle Yuchu Sili. Vareshni Govender. Fatima Hassan. Mudassar Abubakar Khan. Elizabeth Natasha Lipon. Lizanne Lowe, Jamie Loria Machalis, Charlton Cornel Muller, Numbulelo Ndaleni, Morgan Benjamin Smith, Ruan van der Merwe, Michaela Donna Whiskey, Marius Samuel Wolmerans, and Warner Wright.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Laws. Aisha Amin. Lauren Kim Basson obtained the degree with distinction. Alexandra Gabriele Benson obtained the degree with distinction. Melika Brav. Carl Bruce. Frederick Fernanda Franco Dutoy. Harold Anthony Janchis. Kim Nadine Yulis. Wakia Jumat. Sinamile Kebile Zintle Kuzwayo. Kelly Ann Eileen Kruger. Raymond Daniel Lombard obtained the degree with distinction. Sinatemba Cynthia Magambi. Tembani Lucius Bandwanyana. Amanda Mfolozi. Xolile Stephen Mngidi obtained the degree with distinction. Nicole Tori Michaels. Tshwarelo Charmaine Munyane. Robin Mostret. Jutakazi Mtida. Nkululeko Ndikinda. Zoya Nelson. Farana Nodin. Keisha Joy Oliver. Clive Joseph Ontong. Michelle Avril Ontong. Raymond Raylene Jasmina Otto. Cleo McGain Peterson. Rebecca Nontokozo Powell. Dakaro Lillian Ramova Flanagan. Amin Raoult. Siobhan Ember Roda. Kelsey Elizabeth Scott obtained the degree with distinction. Shazma Sheikh. Leandris Labette obtained the degree with distinction. Lungiswa Harriet Somlota. Mihlali Sipesihle Charlie. Ivan van S. Melissa van der Merwe. Duran van Heerden. Kaylee Jordan Warren. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the College of Law. Mtethelelwi Bushwana. Evelyn Yvonne Croy. Nicolene Kaugelo Mabuso. Jason Isalo Manuel obtained the degree with distinction. Wednesday Tato Mashavela. Kishali Mertz. Daniel Buyani Phillips. Mieka Magic Robert obtained the degree with distinction. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Commerce in the College of Law. Nicole Arona Brown. Ngumiswa Buswana. Moarusi Fortunate Chikwariva. Oluto Baleni.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Mcebisi Someleze Funani. Michael Ngwerume. Marilids Osmond. Andrea Ashley Otten. Malcolm Gerard Play. Anita Sese. Pere Shamley.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Science in the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Jessica Eddington. Nicole Maybeck. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Casey Buckley. Grace Chingono. Andres Marco Cornelius. Philile Diko. Robin Pentinga. Kainas Chondo. Eric Tak.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Crizel Amanda Yankees receives the degree of Bachelor of Social Work. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Tatum Kim Miles received the degree of Bachelor of Information Science. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Taryn Lee de Kock receives the degree of Bachelor of Psychology. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Cara Francesca Scholz received the degree of Bachelor of Theology. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Arts: Simone Rochelle Duplessis, Susanna Magdalena Dupring, Unica Oliver Humphreys, Amanda Mlikiva, Nandipa Mgidi, Petrovene Frederica van Rooyen, Ashleigh Barnes, Zakia Christians, degree obtained with distinction. Sisabonga Sijana, Bertas Cook, degree obtained with distinction. Elzahin Dorfling, degree obtained with distinction. Camiela Warzwok, Hope Joy Jacobs, Kelly Jansen, degree obtained with distinction. Ivana Odete January, Madri Enis Kotze, Alden Uvida Mati, Sichava Mulop, Annelisa Vench, Yami October, Tamrin Lay Payne. Bongiwe Sofika. Erin Yolin Titus. Mohamed Zaid Vencel. Aidon Van Fochel. Keisha Birket. Elia Maria de la Her. Nosipo Precious Femel. Lucien Lincoln Gabriel. Shan Shunika Hadalt. Tamieka Grant. Michelle Faith Hess. Kim Lee Ismail, degree obtained with distinction. Akona Jaka. Mikiala Lizette Kawoni. Olutando Kalolo. Sihle Maau. Dex Reyes Junior Maseti. Mila Mdlalo. Alex Kiehere Mukiga. Bongani Trevor Nkasa. Sibongile Fresias Ngwenya. Noloyiso Nkanyusa. Sandra Ontong. Aisha Palmer. Lindokuhle Pepeta. Tilelwa Pandulwazi Yamkelani Hoshi. Jessica Leigh Rousseau. Wongankonke Fezile Shobet. Surita Smile. Sydney Kiara Taylor Montel. Kolelwa Donjin. That Karim Gulam Zulu.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the diploma candidates will now be introduced to you. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the postgraduate diploma in the College of Accounting Sciences. Michaela Dawn Barthus. Portia Siobhan Biggs. Leon Napis.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the postgraduate diploma in the College of Economic and Management Sciences. Lindokuhle Bukani. Ivan Bradley Nolden. Hlonipa Kwacha.
Lungelwa Theodora Luke. Shanik Matilda Abigail Michaels. Noma Kwezi Jennifer Nelani. Michelle Ain Salvador. Kenneth James Rennie Wine.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the diploma in the College of Human Sciences. Nwubisa Ndweni. Sinovio Lisa. Sibabaliwe Majewana. Dintle Fatsuane. Moloboweng Fatsuane. Sibamkile Zinkolo Nkazana. Lendukule Namamka. Sorry, can I pronounce it correctly? Namamwa. Ntombi Nonduba, diploma obtained with distinction. Ashley Prince. Mputzeli Sandra, diploma obtained with distinction.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the diploma in the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Dwayne Peter Stradom.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, Karisto Munyiki receives the diploma in the College of Science, Engineering and Technology.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the diploma in the College of Economic and Management Sciences.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the diploma in the College of Law. Anissa Davis. Layli Keithan Engelbrecht. Nomawethu Gwadiso. Sianda Lucia Linteni. Karabo Audrey Mateja. Avumile Maiza. Sixolisiwe Mpi. Zinande Ndikolo. Wongile Penelope Nomlala. Noluthando Thabile Njingila. Joseph Marius Phillips. Goodness Sambo. Rael Stewart.
Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the diploma in the College of Economic and Management Sciences. Tembisa Eloise Cele. Ayabonga Noni Nkosazana Dukada. Alicia Elaine Lowe. Pumeza Nombongo Desiree Mpono. Grace Lusanda Mpika. Laveko Lavies Ngobeni. Ketni Papia. Sorry. Vicky Vermeulen. Mongelwa Ubetunia Gontana.
Congratulations, class of 2024 and 2025. Halala. Can our graduates please stand up? Because I want to recognize that this morning when you walked in, it looks like you only had your cell phones in your hands, but it looks like you are holding something else other than your cell phones. Can we see them? Congratulations, congratulations. I heard something. What was that? I thought someone was saying something, but what I'm saying is that I want to hear more ululations and mehulukwane. Please be seated. Thank you. I really, really congratulate you once again for this very important achievement. As we reflect on your time at UNISA, you must acknowledge the invaluable lessons you have learned, not only on your chosen fields of study, but also in the realm of personal growth and development. UNISA has not only equipped you with the knowledge, skills, and competencies necessary to excel in your respective fields, but it has also instilled in you a set of values that will guide you as you navigate the complexities of life beyond this room where we are having this graduation. One of the most important lessons that you might have learned at UNISA is the importance of making a difference in society. As you leave here today, I want you to remember one of the most important things about UNISA. I want you to remember that you have graduated from one of the largest in Africa and the oldest comprehensive open distance e-learning institution in the world. And that comes with a lot of experience looking at the number of graduates it has produced over the last 152 years. Can we give a round of applause to that? With this graduation, now you have joined that pedigree of African leaders who have walked across the stage, the graduation stage, the red carpet of UNISA for many, many years. And I expect the best from you. You make part of, I think this year now, it's about 60,000 graduates that UNISA produces, and you will contribute significantly to our mission of driving economic development and fostering a socially just society. We have heard this morning in the Chancellor's address that the importance of corporate governance and the importance of good social responsibility. Today, as we celebrate your role as ambassadors of this esteemed institution, I urge you to embody the values of what we call at UNISA graduateness. And what that entails is dedication, service, innovation, and good ethical conduct and leadership, and to be agents of positive change in your communities and beyond. The degree that you have earned today is not only yours, it is meant to serve your communities. Following good ethical principles and conduct in all you do, either as students and as in your place of work, it is very critical that you being a UNISA graduate reflects on our institutional values. You are the mirror of the university, and you will be judged accordingly. When you do good work consistently, people get into the swing of that person doing the good work. But the minute you do something bad, they will remember where you come from, and they will try to remember your CV and everything to say, where have you worked and where have you graduated? And this will always reflect back on our institution, and we will be judged accordingly. As UNISA graduates, you must strive to display unwavering integrity in everything you do, resisting the temptation of unethical behavior at every turn. If something is not yours and is not meant for you, you must always look the other way. It's not meant for you. And you must work very hard for what you need to earn. UNISA has empowered you to think critically, to challenge the status quo, and to lead by example. As you embark on this new chapter, embrace your role as leaders with courage, conviction, and humility, knowing that the decisions that you make will shape the world of tomorrow. And the Chancellor's address also taught you that nothing stays stagnant or the same. So the decision-making process is very, very critical. And where there are gaps, make very, very critical decisions, how to close those gaps. Also, what you need also to learn about UNISA and its greatness is the fact that it is growing and it is improving, besides the fact that it is an open distance e-learning institution. It is graded equally like contact universities. As we speak, our publication outputs have increased by 18.8% between 2022 and 2023, moving UNISA from the 8th position to the 6th position. And also we take note of the fact that few years ago, 4 years ago, UNISA was in the 13th position, but we are in the top 10, and we will get to the top 5. Also, UNISA celebrates a remarkable and groundbreaking milestone with over 100 patents granted for inventions that stem from its ongoing research and development efforts. Since the establishment of the Directorate of Innovation, Technology, Transfer and Commercialization in 2012, the university has worked closely with both staff and students to transform fresh ideas into protected technologies. One example is the UNISA, how it achieved the milestone in the production of nanofluids by radiolysis, which paves the way for innovation in cooling systems, energy, automotive, and biomedical applications. And with our catalytic niche areas, more will come. And with the work that we have had from the doctoral thesis, the synopsis of the doctoral thesis that we had this morning, that's another groundbreaking work. Let's give that to a round of applause to the work. UNISA is not only recognized locally, but it is also recognized by several global rankings organizations. And as I said earlier on, we are ranked, even if we are disadvantaged, we are ranked the same as contact universities, even if we are not a contact university. But we have not sat back. We continue to put up our data there to be judged by the world exactly of who we are. Whether we turn out to be the last one in the list, it is still fine, because those matrices that they use, they put distance institution at a disadvantage, but we continue to improve. UNISA was again ranked in the highly prestigious 2025 academic ranking of world universities, also known as Shanghai ranking, with only publications in the top 1,000 universities. And UNISA is one of those top 1,000 universities, as disadvantaged as it is. The 2025 Center for World Universities ranked UNISA also in the top 6% of the 20,966 universities ranked by them, and also 945 for employability and 1,250 for research. And these results are consistent with our local rankings, how employers who employ you in this room, and maybe some of you are already employed by them, they rank UNISA in the top 5, and it has been consistent for the past 10 years. So the employers will be more than happy to get you, and this is consistent with our high ranking in global employability. As graduates, the world is waiting for your talents, your ideas, innovations, and your leadership. South Africa, like the rest of the world, faces many challenges, and with the knowledge and skills that you have acquired, I have no doubt that you'll deal with these challenges head on. As graduates in various fields, you are uniquely positioned to contribute to addressing some of the most pressing challenges that South Africa faces today. As graduates in education, you carry the future in your classroom, shaping minds that will build the South Africa of tomorrow. You have the power to transform this landscape by inspiring young minds, and I've seen a young person sitting there at the back. They are waiting for you. Fostering critical thinking and cultivating a culture of learning that will break the cycle of poverty. As human scientists, you hold the key to restoring our humanity, healing trauma, and building communities of peace and a country that is crime-free. As agriculturists, you are the custodians of food security in a time of climate uncertainty. And as lawyers, you must defend justice, safeguard democracy, and ensure that the law works for all and not just for the privileged. You must always protect our people. As scientists in engineering and science and technology, you are called to solve our energy crisis, our infrastructure gaps, and to motivate with integrity. As economists and managers, you must design the economy that will not only be productive, but also be inclusive. Each of these fields play a pivotal role in our nation building. As we face socioeconomic disparities, high unemployment, and the challenges of global competition, it is your knowledge and your fresh perspectives that will lead us forward. The continent is counting on you. Your experience and learning on an open distance learning mode has taught you a lot. It has taught you independence, and it has taught you discipline and self-direction. These qualities are rare and are exactly what South Africa needs. Citizens who can think independently, lead courageously, and serve with integrity. There's an African proverb that says, "A child who is not embraced by the village will burn it out to feel its warmth." You have been armed with information. You have been initiated in this environment of your graduation today, and you are well embraced. You do not have to burn anything. The village is watching. It has taught you the lessons that you need. The country is looking up to you, and the continent is counting on you. UNISA has taught you through open distance, as you remember, and you must always remember the discipline that came with that. We live in a world shaped by geopolitical shifts, wars in Europe, in Middle East, a reconfiguring of global alliances, climate disasters, digital surveillance, and artificial intelligence. But do not be overwhelmed. The same challenges will bring opportunities. And challenges are always going to be there to test you, but look at them as opportunities and be creative. The African Union Agenda 2063 envisions an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful Africa driven by its own citizens. And I quote, "This is not a dream, it is a deadline." And as you are the generations that will meet this deadline, I really encourage you to take things head on. And we will be guided by the principle of Ubuntu. I am because we are. Let this principle guide. Your success is not complete if you do not elevate others. Your knowledge is It's supposed to be valuable to the societies or the communities where you come from, and it must be shared. Use it to teach, to uplift, to build bridges, and to innovate solutions that honor the dignity for all. Go out into the world, not just to make a living, but to make a difference. You hold in your hands the key to change and to transform. As you go forth, embrace the challenges that lie ahead with the same courage and determination that brought you up to this point today. Remember, success is not final, and each achievement is the foundation of the next one. And also to encourage you to continue with your studies. Those who got diplomas today, I encourage you to go on with your studies to get your bachelor's degree. And those who got bachelor's degree, move on to the postgraduate diploma or to your honors to bridge into the master's. And those who got the master's, just look in the front line here where it can get you. It can get you in a red robe with our doctoral students. I would like to take this opportunity to ask our doctoral graduates, I'm busy saying students, graduates, to stand up, please. I'm really honored to be standing before you for this achievement, and with the studies that you have conducted, I see so many opportunities, the groundbreaking work that you have come up with, and I can see that some of it is already operational, in some of my municipalities or in some of the schools. I'm really looking forward to the work and the publications that will be coming out of your work. As you can see that UNISA's research outputs are really flying high. I would like you to continue to make us proud to be the best scholars that the world has ever seen. And as South Africa and as UNISA, we can always brag about you and say, that's our scholar. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Thank you very much. And many thanks also to your supervisors and advisors who has supported you to come this far. I salute you all, esteemed class of 24 and 25. Make your mark wherever you go and serve society with pure diligence and humility. Go out and build the South Africa and the Africa that we want and that we deserve. Thank you very much. All the best. Ladies and gentlemen, now that you have graduated from this esteemed institution, you are now officially declared the alumni of UNISA. And you are officially the ambassadors of our institution, and now you have joined officially the illustrious circle of excellence, #excellence. You are part of that. And I must say that that comes with a lot of responsibility to help us to define the tomorrow that we want, right? So that responsibility means you might know someone that was in your class who has not graduated. Give them a helping hand for them also to come to this point. Give them a helping hand because they would have loved to be in this room today, but it did not happen for one reason or the other. It could have been financial difficulties, it could have been family hardships, it could be ill health, it could be a number of things, things that happen in life, and we do not foresee them, but they do happen. And so give them a helping hand. And some of you who are interested, you are welcome also to become e-tutors or to sign up to become tutors in one form or the other in your field of study to support other students. And then also those with financial capabilities, please continue to support our students financially so that, because some didn't graduate because of financial problems. So if you would like to make a contribution, you can put it under UNISA Bursary Fund on the online platform www.unisa.ac.za, and you can press the button Donate. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, now we are coming close to the end of the ceremony, and I would like you to just share this message with you, this announcement to say, to ask you to rise for the singing of the national anthem, the words of which are on page 24 of the program, and to remain standing after the anthem to enable me to dissolve the congregation. You are also requested to remain standing while the academic procession leaves the hall. By virtue of the powers entrusted to me, I dissolve this congregation of the University of South Africa.